Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the second video of Friday. This one is going to be a guide to Thronebreaker and generally event quest champions to use, play into the paths, play into the best champions to use for the bosses. We've got lots of options. Apologies for the delay. Usually trying to get this out on a Thursday, but hey, these things take time. But we've got a spreadsheet in the link in the description, so go and check that out. So if you don't want to listen to me, just go and check out the spreadsheet in the link in the description. So starting off with 1.1, this is where you have your Cosmic Champions. If they have quick access to armor break, they can be very helpful for you. So look out for that, because cracking the armor, each time a Cosmic attacker lands an attack, they have a 10% chance for each armor break on the defender to gain indefinite passive fury, blah, 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 blah. Look, some of these champions right here, easy access stuff. Medusa off the medium. You've got Captain Marvel movie, Null, Obsidian, Color Obsidian with heavy attacks, King Groot off the SP1, Angela, the list goes on. Pick and choose which one you've got. Venom with a heavy attack can be very helpful as well. My favourite is Corvus Glaive. I like bringing out that champion because a lot of the champions on the particular paths play into some of the, I think it's the, like missions that you do. So evade, do a heavy attack. If you've got, if you go against a Avengers mutant or tech, you build and able to persistently do massive crit damage. So that's always helpful. Your boss for this is going to be Squirrel Girl, and I would just say this is a very easy fight to do. Whittle down basically means you need a champion that does debuffs, so pick and choose. Apocalypse, Bishop, any mutant really with a class advantage. Weapon X, Null, I mean armor breaks. You're going to be taking him as a Cosmic into there, the same way the Cosmic Ghost Rider can do similar things. So yeah, go and do that. Archangel, Onslaught, Iceman. The list goes on with available options to take this down. The second quest is 2.2, and not 2.2, it's 1.2. And this is all about mutant-based champions. Seeing Red, Biohazard. In a nutshell, try not to hit into the block, because you're going to get poisoned. Other than that, it's either going to be Bleed Immune and Poison Immune, or just Bleed Immune champions are going to be key. I would say this might be a bit of an advantage to have on your team a Magneto, just in case there's any kind of hashtag metal-based champions. So make sure to kind of to do that. And yeah, just any mutant really does quite well. Like Colossus, for example, double immunity champions, Bleed Immune champions. Magneto, House of X, Emma Frost, Rogue, any mutant really, based on the fact that I think it reduces down the amount of damage you take. But yeah, like just most mutants are able to do this absolutely fine. Double immunity champions can be very helpful for this, especially if you're struggling to have options. Okay, when it comes to the boss of this, you are going up against Mangog. Mangog does have some varying options for this. So whether or not you are going down the route of staggering the unstoppable, slow debuff champions can help to kind of lower down the rate in which that unstoppable pops up, which is a bit of a pain point and a frustration. Of course, the usual suspects, I'll try to go to Sean Connery again. Human Torch, Doctor Doom for the stagger, you know, if you want to do that. You can't power control, that's one thing to mention, so you do need to keep the champion to an SP1 as much as possible. Cap Infinity War, Photon, She-Hulk, because of course debuffs, slow debuff. Cap Infinity War, of course, shuts down that. Scorpion, Quicksilver. Quicksilver is a long fight, but it works. Void, I've seen work. Hulk, haven't tried it yet, but you know, Silk, people are using Silk quite a bit nowadays, so yeah, fair play. Use whatever you feel is necessary for this particular fight. Keep to an SP1 and you should be golden. Oh, and don't overuse the well-timed block, because you have an issue with the miss element to it. So you may want miss counters, but I would say as long as you don't play into Dazed and Confused, you should be fine. It's 2.1 now, and this is Occult Equilibrium and Siphoning Strength over Power Overwhelming. This is all about Mystic-based champions. Better if you've got Regen and Power Control-based Mystics. Now, I've got a ton more to add to this spreadsheet, but it's a case of time in trying to get all the data, all the information. Also, I've got to update a lot of this stuff, so apologies if you're kind of going, my champion is not mentioned here. You haven't put Synergy champions. Everything's a work in progress. Trying to find the time to do that is very limiting. But if you've got power control champions like Doctor Doom, Magic, Off the SB2, Scarlet Witch, got a bit of RNG. Wiccan is pretty good. Purgatory is another option. Wong, fantastic option as well. Sorcerer Supreme. The list goes on with available options and champions that power control and regen that can be very helpful on clearing the paths. Black Widow Clairvoyant in Poison Curse mode is a really kind of like fun one that I regularly use for this. I quite enjoyed Wiccan for this, but I would say that some of the options like Dr. Doom are kind of some of the best for it. So, when it comes to the boss side of things, your boss is going to be Korg, and Korg does have immovable object, roll with the punches, root to rooted, power up. The attacker cannot gain power during the fight through normal means while the attacker is charging a heavy attack. They gain 8% of a bar of power, so just charge your heavy attack and you get that. So yeah, do that. Other than that, there's not really much to worry about per se with this champion. You just gotta be careful with root or rooted, and yeah, just all the available normal options that you would kind of take against this, like you know, Namor, Storm Pyramid X, Diablo. I've seen work quite well. Wags, if you wanted it, you know, you could put like a nice passive parry on. Apocalypse, of course, works great. Bishop was the champion I think I used for this one. Professor X, because it's non-contact hit. I think it's with that one. So yeah, again, it's up to you how you play against this and choose to interact. What you find most easiest, go for it. And seeing out Chapter 2, 2.2 is going to be Academic Constitution, Vexing Blight, Contagion. This is science-based champions. Science poison immune champions seem to be the way to go with this one. Again, it'll be down to like personal preference what you've got. You could use Quake, but obviously you just don't hit the enemy, and that won't kind of like trigger the poison side of things. Hulk and Immortal Hulk both work relatively well. Immortal Abominations always hitting very well with this. Human Torch can work. Abomination, Overseer, Cap Infinity War with Skill Champion, Ant-Man, Red Hulk, Anti-Venom. Yeah, and any kind of like poison immune champions can work in against the node, but of course you want to use against the node. So yeah, any kind of like poison immune option can be very, very nice from the science aspect side of things. When you come to the boss is going to be Odin, and this champion does have something that will mean you will have to have a lot of buffs on you. This defender takes 100% less damage while they have less than 3 buffs applied to them. These buffs cannot be the same. So yeah, high buff champions can be very effective against this particular fight. I think I used Juggernaut for this one. That actually worked relatively well. That was quite fun. But it's not the only option, because some people have used America Chavez, Absorbing Man, Wiccan. But, you know, there's kind of like loads of better options. You could use Magneto because it's a hashtag metal-based champion. Ronan, I think, cheeses this one because anytime there's any buffs, by the way, use them in Battlegrounds. A fantastic champion for Battlegrounds, Ronan. Yeah, Hyperion. Purgatory is a bit of an iffy one. I've got that on there. I should really take that off. And Scorpion's a bit of an iffy one there, which I've misspelled. But Hercules, Hulkling. Look, there's a few options out there, a bit against the grain, which I've seen. But apart from that, you know, you choose what you feel is going to be necessary. As I can't spell Scorpion. 3.1 time, and this is going to be champions that are either hashtag Avengers. No, I think it's just hashtag Avengers that benefit from the crossfight. So you'll be able to get that passive fury, you know, prolonging from the first fight to right to the boss fight, which is going to be relatively helpful depending on the champions you choose to go down that particular route. Whether or not you use, you know, Hulk, for example, which I love, by the way. Hulk is one of my favorites. Or use tech champions in order to deal with stuff. But again, it's going to be down to it's going to be down to you, what you've got, and what you feel is going to be necessary for the particular fights. So some of the options that you can see on the screen: Namor, Falcon. Falcon could be good because, you know, evade-based champions, auto-block champions, countering them. Cap Infinity War, the Black Panther, Black Widow. Iron Man, Hulkbuster, Scarlet Witch Sigil, Scarlet Witch OG, Hawkeye, Hulk Ragnarok, blah 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 blah. Vision Age of Ultron, Standard Vision, I think, as well. So, you know, plenty of options there, and of course plenty of techs. Whether or not it's infamous Iron Man, Penny Parker, Warlock, all those that power control. to some degree with that. So yeah, make sure to kind of like pick wisely for that one. Your boss is going to be Destroyer, the Destroyer armor. Interesting with this one because it does have diversion, it has subterfuge, block, and then backup recovery. Trying to find the best option for this is always a tricky one with what people are using. For me, I think I used Human Torch, which worked fine. But any champion playing into the champion's abilities that are buff immune can be really helpful. Titania, haven't seen any Red Guardian gameplay, but it does imply that, you know, he's buff immune, so that could work. Spider-Man 2099 can work in that scenario, but I've seen others. People use Overseer. I've seen people use Apocalypse. I've even seen people use Kate Bishop with it. So yeah, there are kind of like varying different options that work. It's just down to you what you feel you're most comfortable using in that particular scenario. Oh, and finally, if you can keep the champion to an SP1, it's just easier to kind of like deal with because he just jumps up into the air and lands. So you can keep like a fair distance without having to worry quite so much. So yeah. More buff immune champions and SP1 keeping the champion 2 if you can. And your final one is 3.2. 3.2 is going to be about martial discipline, fighting fit, accident prone. This is going to be about you utilizing skill-based champions, whether or not it's Black Widow Deadly Origin, that does crit. It's either do crits or shrug off, your choice. Crits or shrug off, right? So, you know, there's plenty of champions out there that are skill. You know, check your roster now for skill champions that, you know, shrug off and as well do crits. Elsa Bloodstone, Shang-Chi, Substitute Spider-Man, Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, Immunity and Shrug Off, Crossbones. I think I liked using Crossbones. I think I used Crossbones for this. Jabari Panther, pretty good now at the moment. You know, get some training in to do the Karina's challenges, which obviously Fintech's with them. Kingpin for shrug offs as well. Baron Zemo, Craven. The list goes on. There's plenty of options out there. Go and pick whatever you see fit. Misty Knight. List goes on. When it comes to the boss, your final boss is Serpent. Wasn't as bad as maybe I thought it was going to be, because we've got Mystic Curse. Whenever a Mystic attacker activates a special attack, they poison the defender. I thought Mystic Champions weren't going to be as good. They're still fine, to be honest. Defender is shock immune, so you won't find yourself using Doctor Doom. But, I mean, I think I used Doctor Doom and he worked fine. I've seen other people use Doctor Doom and were ultimately fine with it. Apart from that, there's nothing really to concern yourself about. It's just a case of looking at the champion and kind of looking at, you know, how the SP1 works, kind of avoiding that and just kind of like little chips away of damage. But still, Mystic's a key. Juggernaut as well, another, you know, I think I used Juggernaut for this one. No, I didn't use Juggernaut for this. I'm going to use Juggernaut for this because it just worked effectively. Black Widow Clairvoyant can work. Hood can work. Wiccan. Did I try Morning? I think I tried Morningstar. I think I need to remove that. I think I tried Morningstar because I wanted to punish with an SB2, and I think it didn't end up doing anything, and I was a bit disappointed with it. It's either I've tried that on Odin or I've tried it on a Serpent. I need to go back and check my footage. So it'll either be a case once I've released this spreadsheet that it's either on or not, depending on the results. But that's been it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. Check out the spreadsheet if you see fit to. Check out some other content located on screen, and have a lovely day. I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye for now.